This was me back when I first started lifting weights, back in my CrossFit days. I was huge into it and doing CrossFit competitions all the time, and ever since then, I've never really been that great of a bench presser. I actually used to be able to snatch more than I could bench press. Check this out. In my defense, the bench press is definitely not one of the main movements in CrossFit, and I would say Olympic lifts like the snatch are. But I think this shows how much behind my bench was to my squat and deadlift. And before we move on to the main reason for this video, I just wanted to say, man, do I wish I would have built some foundational upper body strength when I was doing all this 5 or 6 years ago. But what are you gonna do? Recently, I hit a pretty big bench PR, 300 pounds, which has always been a pretty big goal of mine. But a couple months before I hit this PR, I started thinking about these 2 big technique changes, and everything just started feeling really good and clicked. And I'm just saying, 315, I'm coming for you. So we're gonna talk about the 2 huge tips that really helped my bench press, and they're pushing the bar back and fixing my leg drive. The first change I made really helped me with finishing the rep and making sure I locked out the bar at the top. I changed my mindset from thinking about pushing the bar up through the roof to thinking about pushing the bar back. When you watch a bench press from the side, the bar doesn't move in a straight line up and down. It moves from over your chest up and back to over your shoulders. So I changed how I thought about finishing the rep, and it helped so much. One thing I keep noticing people doing is when they're trying to finish the lockout of the bar, they end up pushing the bar away from them or towards their feet, or they just hit this sticking point halfway through the rep. All that does is make the rep harder and more work for you to do to get it done. Just like every other lift, the bench press has a balance point that the bar is trying to stay over, which is a line through your shoulder joint, scapula, and the bench. Anytime the bar leaves that line, you're creating a moment arm between the bar and the axis of rotation, which for the bench press is your shoulder joint. So you're making it harder on yourself than it has to be. Unfortunately for us, our shoulders and upper body aren't built in a way that allows us to move a barbell effectively in a straight line up and down during the bench press. So we're forced to create a new bar path, which forms a moment arm. Different hand positions, amount of arch in your back, elbow position, and other factors too can affect this new bar path. But our goal is to get the bar over your shoulder joint in the most efficient way possible, which turns out to be a nice arcing motion. If you don't understand the bar path that has to happen to get the barbell back over your shoulders, a nice clean rep can easily turn into not so clean really fast. So here's what I think about to create the best bar path I can. Off my chest, I didn't change anything. Think about pushing the bar up or away from you. But once you hit about halfway, the bar is gonna start slowing down a little bit, and is a common sticking point for a lot of people. From here, this is where I think about pushing the bar back towards my face. It's crazy how much this has helped me with hitting reps I didn't think I was going to make, and just overall cleaning my bar path up a lot. The second change I made to my bench press was how I created my leg drive. Here's a set that I did with the world's best spotter, Stacy Bama Burrs, at her Champion Mindset Seminar.
Back to me. Oh, back. Good. Back. Good. There we go. Come on. Back. There it is. Easy. How'd that feel?
After watching my set, she suggested this change to my leg drive, and it's been helping so much, so thank you, Stacy. Before that set, I've always thought about leg drive as pushing my heels into the ground and also putting pressure forward, like I was trying to drag my feet on the floor away from me. But she suggested me push my knees out and put pressure on the lateral side of my feet. What this does is flexes or contracts your butt, so you even have more tension running throughout your whole body. A common issue people run into when benching is their butt coming off of the bench during a hard rep or in competition. When you push your knees out or put pressure on the lateral side of your foot, this seems to get rid of some of the slack in your hips and keeps everything locked into the same position it was in at the beginning of the rep. So you won't miss a rep or lose stability from your butt popping off of the bench. I felt like it just locked everything in my lower body in more and everything felt stronger. Both of these technique changes have helped my bench press position so much, but when you combine technical changes and good programming, now that's a recipe for some PRs.